Games with cool physics used to be a big marketing point in the mid-2000s going up to the early 2010s. If a game had impressive ragdoll physics to throw around other characters, or impressive car crashes that splattered onto the road in semi-horrifying ways, it usually got some kind of extra bump in excitement, at least for me. And most of the time this didn't result in games that used this sort of thing for proper mechanical reasons. Instead, it was used for slapstick comedic effect most of the time, unless you're Half-Life 2, in which case you get the best of both worlds: funny ragdoll and physics puzzles. This really highlights to me more than anything how much I miss when games could just be dumb excuses to show off tech that's designed to be fun to mess around with. Games like Star Wars The Force Unleashed that had a whole storyline going on, but I never paid attention because dangling stormtroopers over a railing was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Video games often do this funny dance as a medium where you'll get the odd game that gives you tools to become a genuine psychopath with no one around to stop you, and somewhere along the way we lost that vibe a little bit. And while there are a few racing games out there that scratch the sort of vibes I'm talking about, none of them really do it in the same way that Motorstorm does. Motorstorm was PlayStation's premier racing franchise for the PS3, which had sequels like Pacific Rift, which is mostly what you'll see in this video and what I'm going to be talking about mainly, Apocalypse, and the PSP game that was also ported to the PS2 called Arctic Edge. Then there was more of a spin-off kind of game for the Vita called Motorstorm RC. I never played that one, so I've got nothing to say about it. Let me know if it was good. I genuinely have no idea. These games were off-road races where you had to wrangle with the harsh, uneven, unsteady environment, all the while engaging with the pros and cons of your chosen vehicle as you decide which routes would be best to take on the fly. Motorstorm goes between being a racing game that forces you to make a crucial decision in a split second while giving you plenty of moments to breathe in the pretty neat environments around you. Just don't combine those two things together because you'll absolutely crash in a pretty hilarious way. You can choose between a bunch of vehicle types, from bikes, ATVs, rally cars, racing trucks, big rigs, and when Pacific Rift came around you even had monster trucks to crush other cars and drive alongside precarious mountain ridges. All vehicle types come with their own pros and cons, with bikes being fast but extremely frail, and bigger vehicles being more cumbersome but a lot harder to take out by other racers on the track. And that's really what separates Motorstorm from something like Burnout, which did incorporate vehicle types that made crashing into opponents more lethal with some cars, but it's not quite the same as this. It's a different feeling entirely to be on a bike or driving a buggy and seeing a big truck coming your way, knowing that if you let up for 1 second, you're likely getting squashed. Or to know that going around any corner, you might be flattened by someone coming around the same turn to ram you off the road. This is all part of the fun of Motorstorm though, the textural delight that is seeing cars ahead of you crash into trees, forcing you to ram past them, the sound of everyone's engines roaring at the start of the race as we all claw towards first place. There's a rawness it all evokes that speaks to how dangerous racing like this can be. Luckily it's a game though, so fuck it, go nuts. Tracks have certain paths and sections that are better designed for certain types of vehicles. For instance, bikes don't typically do that well in rivers versus any other larger vehicle type. Just like how monster trucks are a little tricky to navigate around skinnier paths that don't have much of a margin for error. Experimenting with each track and figuring out where you might be able to shave off some time with certain vehicles is the main goal here. Bikes have this supreme advantage of being able to access very sketchy paths, but require good reflexes on your part to avoid getting snagged on by a tree. Bigger vehicles can knock down parts of the scenery to open up brand new paths that the whole race can make use of. And it's things like this that open up the sandbox and make every vehicle type feel equally as important. Then there's the boost meter, which is a resource that allows you to gain extra speed by slamming down some nitrous like the good old days. But use it too much and you'll explode. a tool which can be used to self-destruct and take other players out if you feel like being a bit of a dick. Boosting has the more advanced utility as well of giving you extra momentum to counter a steep drift, allowing you to power through and get yourself back in control and avoid making a dire mistake like completely driving off of a cliffside. Boosting is the main tool you have for being aggressive in pursuing the lead, getting to other racers to ram them off the track or to cross the quieter part of tracks much faster than you would otherwise. The boost gauge also acts as a sort of kind of health bar in some instances, which can be impacted by your environment. Driving through water cools your vehicle down and decreases the buildup of the boost gauge while you're in it, which is invaluable for larger vehicles. But depending on the depth of the water, bikes might want to avoid the hydration to maintain their speed, as water also has the effect of slowing you down. On tracks with lava, like it's a Super Mario level, I love this so much, the boost gauge can overheat if you get too close, which makes boosting a risky prospect. Recklessly going fast without paying attention to what's ahead of you in these situations will result in you going head first into the magma. Don't worry though, you just reset and you're all good. Then there's muddy paths that affect the traction of your vehicles as you drive across it. Seeing all the tracks that embed themselves into the mud as the race goes on is just a nice textural thing to me. And paths that may not be suitable for larger vehicles, like small caves and things like that, are still traversable for those vehicles. You may just need to take things a little more carefully. Little bumps in the track can send you flipping over at the worst possible time. Landing a jump at an awkward angle can cause you to fly off in the wrong direction if you aren't careful. And some vehicle types offer better mid-air controls than others, which is useful to line yourself up with an upcoming bend. All of this makes races that feel like these scrappy contests of who can drive the best while also disrespecting everyone else on the track. And this leads to nail-biting finishes that can sometimes end in split-second differences. And yes, this felt very good to win. With how chaotic these races can be, and with the differences of each vehicle in mind, there's really not two races that are the same. Variables in the track, uneven terrain, and the volatility of the cars themselves make predicting how a race will go pretty tricky, which feels about right. Motorstorm, for all intents and purposes, is just off-road burnout. But now that we're in an era where both are dead, it just feels a bit sad at this point to look back at how much dumb fun I had with all of these games. Motorstorm isn't the highest quality racer out there with the best balancing or whatever, but none of that matters anyway. I'm just here to go fast and check out some cool environments, which are still pretty breathtaking to just stop and look at. I don't think we'll ever get the same games that this era of 7th gen managed to give us, and that's okay. Times change, games are made differently, and most of the audience will go wherever the industry takes them. But I still miss Motorstorm. I miss the kind of racing that lets me just go for a drive, watch some insane crashes, and rock out to the Prodigy on the side of a cliff.